Hello, my name's Tanya and this is Just Let Me Sew. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you are well and you have had lots of sewing time. Today I am just going to do a general sort of catch-up, chatty vlog with you, so I hope that's okay. I haven't had that much time to do any sewing lately. I feel like I say that quite a lot lately. Everything is just very busy, and by the time I get around to doing my sewing in the evening, I just feel so tired that I'm sort of lacking the energy to do sewing, but I'm still very much thinking about sewing and wanting to sew. If I could get some more time, that'd be amazing. So let's get started. First thing I wanted to share with you is what is behind me, and that is what I have been working on for what seems like the past few weeks. It's taken me a while to sew it, but I have really enjoyed the process, so that's good. It definitely didn't feel like a chore. It was just something that I could sort of plug away at when I had little pockets of time to work on it. And it is the Blanca flight suit by Closet Core Patterns. I have made this pattern before. This is my second version. The first version I made was in a dark blue denim with little light blue pockets at the front. I will try and insert the card for it somewhere up here, so do have a look at my past vlog if you want a bit more detail on it. I really like this pattern. I was really expecting it to be a very difficult sew the first time I made it up, and actually it's a lot easier than you think. I think that is definitely helped by the instructions being so well written, and it just comes together really nicely. There's no point in the process that is really difficult, because they just talk you through it quite well. So this version, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen it already, and I fully give all the credit to Victoria from Little Rosy Cheeks for this version, because last year when I went to the Stitch Festival in, where is it, Islington, Angel, she was wearing pretty much this version and I loved it. I asked her, what's that pattern, what are you wearing? And I just had it in my mind, I want to make that version. So it was a while afterwards that I saw the exact same denim appear that Victoria had used for her version, and I got this denim from First for Fabrics. Now they don't have that colourway anymore. They have still got it in a blue colour, but if you wanted pink, head over to Minerva, sorry, because they do have the pink colourway. Minerva also have, I think, like a beige colourway, green, different shades of blue as well. So if you did want a different one, that's where to go. Otherwise, First for Fabrics have got it. It has got a slight stretch to it, which is really handy for a flight suit. So you've got a little bit more wiggle room to get it on and off and move around and feel really comfortable. What else can I say about this version? So I have gone for the cropped leg version. I will insert some photos of me wearing it here. The reason I went for a cropped leg version, it is still very much winter here in the UK, but my reason for making a cropped leg version is, firstly, this fabric says spring, summer to me. And another reason is I find when I get to spring or summer and the temperature starts to warm up, I get really inspired to make loads, to do loads of sewing and have loads of plans. But our warmer months aren't that long-lived over here. So I have all these amazing plans and I never have time to make them. And if I do make them, I haven't got that much time to wear them. So I thought, I will be one step ahead and I will prepare myself and make something now so that when the temperature does warm up, I've got something to wear already. So here we go. Here's my Blanca flight suit ready for one day when it is warmer. What else can I say? I have gone for the simple patch pockets. As I said in my last vlog, there is a version you can do with a little zip, but I didn't really have the inclination to do that extra level of work. I have got a simple tie waist here, which you push through these little belt loops, which are very cleverly part of the patch pocket at the front. Another nice detail I have added, which you may have seen in one of the photos I've included, is a little label on the front pocket. I've seen a few sewists including more visible labels, and I really like that detail, like doing on the pocket, or some people do them on the side seams. And I have included a label here, which is one of the lovely soft velvet ones. Both of these are from Little Rosy Cheeks, and it says made by me. Both of those labels were from apologies, Shropshire Sews. I find it really hard to say that. Shropshire Sews. I will include the link to that shop in the description down below. And that is run by the lovely seamstress Ruth over on Instagram. Ruth is one of the loveliest people you will ever meet, and she's just set up her shop, which has got lots of gorgeous haberdashery supplies and fabrics as well. So do have a look at that link. She's a new business, just setting out, so it's a great way to support other sewists as they launch into their independent business. So do check out her link down below. What else can I say about this? I have used a nice white zip with gold teeth. I think I got that zip at, where did I get it from? Walthamstow Market, that's the one. Walthamstow Market. And yeah, I just love it. As I said, I will have included some photos of me wearing it. It's really surprisingly comfortable as well. I know jumpsuits can put people off because they seem a bit impractical, a bit hard to take on and off, but no issues at all. I would really, really recommend it. If you're thinking of having a go at making one, go for it. Really, really good pattern. The collar as well is actually really easy to insert because it doesn't have a collar stand. You just sew it straight on to the bodice. There is obviously a bit of easing in to do, as you always have to do with collars, but you don't have to struggle with that collar stand, so not too tricky to do. Inserting the zip sort of fly protector is very straightforward as well. There is quite a bit of top stitching to do on this, but it's optional. You don't have to do the top stitching. As I shared in my last vlog, my machine doesn't really like top stitching because of the thread. So I only put top stitching thread in the top, and the bobbin is just normal thread. Even that way, I can't back stitch, and more often than not, I get a worrying clunk, which means that the top thread has been pulled down under into the bobbin area. So I have to stop straight away before it gets a real mess. And I often have to take off the throat plate and pull it completely out, take the bobbin case out. So I've just decided not to use top stitching thread until perhaps I can afford to get a better machine that can handle it. So for this one, I have done top stitching, but just in the standard white thread. So not the thick thread at all. Next up, I wanted to share with you some purchases that I have made. As I said, I haven't had much time to actually sew, but I have been thinking about sewing, and I've bought a couple of things, a few things really. So the first thing I bought was from Ruth's store, as I mentioned, Shropshire Sews, and I will show you what I got from there. So Ruth's parcel came in this lovely little envelope, which is a nice unusual little, not a jiffy bag, but a nice parcel that was wrapped up with this string, really pretty. And I just got the 2 label packets that I showed you there. Actually, no, apologies. The velvet one was from Ruth, and Little Rosy Cheeks, which says made by me in green, like that. And it's got it on both sides, so you can flip it over and have it on both sides once you've folded it. The other one I got was one of the larger labels, and it is the Look for Glimmers. I'll try and get it out for you. A really pretty shimmery one of the larger ones that you could sew on a pocket, on the back, wherever you want it, really. So really pretty. The next thing I bought was some fabric. So I was scrolling through Instagram, and I had my daughter sitting next to me, and this appeared, and she said, "What's that, mummy? I like that." And it was a post from First for Fabrics, and they had shown a new quilted fabric that they had, and they were showing how they'd made a little vest, you know, like the popular vests at the moment where they have the little ties at the front. And it's in this lovely animal print fabric, which is lilac and yellow. So it's only got that on the one side. I'll open it up so you can see. And on the reverse, it's just plain white. It has got batting, wadding in the middle. It is thin. It's not a really thick, heavy quilting, but I would plan on putting some wadding in the middle, or I was thinking of doing on the reverse side some nice cozy Sherpa fleece that I've got as well in white. So she saw the exact vest and said, please could you make me one of those? So I said, yeah, sure. And yeah, that is what I plan to do. I'm not going to use a pattern for it. The post showed how they had used an existing item, I think that they had, or a pattern that they'd had, and just used that to work off. So I'll do something similar. I won't buy a pattern for it. So I will do some Sherpa on the other side and then bias bind the edges. I'm secretly hoping that my daughter goes off the fabric and I get to use it, because I wouldn't mind using this myself for a little vest. I think it's so pretty. They do have lots of other colourways. There's a pink, khaki green, and some others as well. I can't remember what they were. So go and check that out if you like it. It's lovely, lovely fabric. And then while I was there, of course, I had to look for me. And while it is coming to the end of sort of a party, glittery season, not that I even go out that much anyway, I thought I'd quite like this fabric. So this is quite unlike me. I never really go for sparkly fabrics. I tend to be a bit on the plainer side, but it's got this rib effect to it with velvet and these little shimmers. It's got some little stars on there as well, bits of glitter. Fairly sheer, so you know, you might wear a vest or something underneath it. And I was thinking to make a little low mock turtleneck tight fitting top out of it. I thought that would be really nice because it is stretchy. It's got a nice stretch to it, but I just love that. I thought, oh, that's really, really pretty. I don't have anything like that, and I quite like going out of my comfort zone sometimes, trying new things. So lovely. Again, I will link to the fabric below. I'm pretty sure they do still have this one and the quilted one as well, because I only got them recently. They arrived during the week. Recently, there was a half price sale on all New Look patterns. And when there's a half price sale on Big Four patterns, it will be across all of the different retailers. They all have it. And I really like the supply, the stock that So Essential has of Big Four patterns. They're always really well stocked. They have a good range of them. So I went over and was scrolling through the New Look patterns, and I came across this one, which is New Look 6517. So it's definitely a more summery pattern. You've got the option to do just a very basic sleeveless vest top. You can make it a longer tunic version, or you can make it into a dress, which has got this side slit at the side there. And there's also options for trousers, which is what actually drew me to this pattern, because you can see at the front on that waistband, it's only partially elastic on the waistband. And I really like that feature. It's a bit like the Tilly and the Buttons Sophia trousers. And it's got these nice patch pockets at the front as well, and nice wide leg. I thought I'm always up for trying new variations of how to do things. And I thought potentially if I reduce some of that width of the trouser, maybe I could make that more like a work attire kind of fabric. That would be quite nice to try, because I do like wide leg trousers. They're really comfortable. And also I quite like that dress version as well. I'm not sure how tight fitting that would be around the hips. I would have to do it on my hip measurement. So I'd have to have a play around with how I would grade that up to the bust as well, because I think I sit sort of like at a 16 at the hip, but then I'm more of a 10, 12 on the top. So I'll have a play around with that, but I like that pattern. Give that a go. And then while I was there, I thought, oh, what else do I need, as we tend to do, to make sure you justify the postage. And I thought I would pick myself up a little tailor's owl. How do you say that word? Owl? I don't know. Because I have been told by people how useful these are, you know, particularly when you're doing quite fiddly areas, and as it goes under the foot of your machine, you can't really hold it for that long until you have to let go before you get stomped on by your needle. And this is very good for doing that, you know, for things like bias binding, making sure you can keep hold of it until the very last second. So I picked that up as well. That's everything that I have bought, and I'll just share with you something that I am working on at the moment. So I wanted just a quick make after making my Blanca flight suit. I've spent weeks making this, and I just wanted something that I could make in an evening. So I've started cutting out a bias cut skirt using one of the fabrics that I picked up at Walthamstow Market. So I'll just grab it for you. This is the fabric that I picked up. Now, it's a very cheap fabric, very inexpensive. I think I said it was about £3 a metre. So as you'd expect, it is very thin, and it probably should just be used for a lining, but I thought I'll give it a go as a bias cut skirt. They're quite quick and easy to make. And I am using this pattern, which is New Look 6623. I'm going for version C, which is the longer length, and I'm not doing this waist high, so a little bit longer. I usually go for version B, but I'll give that one a go. And I have cut it out. I won't pick it up because it's on the bias. You don't want to touch it too much because it can stretch out of shape. What I did notice after cutting it out was there was a snag on the fabric, and one of the threads had come through, and only a tiny bit. But I found a little trick, I think it was on the Martha Stewart website, where if you thread a piece of thread through a needle and tie it to the thread loop that's come out, so tie a knot to it, you can then push the needle back through the hole as best you can with the knot, pull it all the way through, and that will pull that loop through. And then you've got it on the other side of the fabric, and hopefully by tying a knot it secures it and stops it coming back through again. And I was able to sort of flatten out the little pucker that had formed because of the thread coming through. So it's not ideal, but it will do. So I'm hoping to get that sewed up maybe tonight. Nice, quick, easy project. If you've got any tips for sewing on the bias, do let me know, because I have made 2 bias skirts before. One worked out much better than the other. The first one I made does have a little bit of puckering at the side seams, so where it's sort of a slight asymmetrical A-line skirt, and on those side seams there's a little bit of sort of weird puckering, like it's dragging it down. The other one I made doesn't have that at all, and I was comparing what I might have done differently. Was it the fabric? And I just can't put my finger on it. It was probably just a happy accident that one of them worked out better than the other, and I don't know why. So if you've got any tips, do let me know. A friend did recommend spray starching the fabric. Can I find my spray starch anywhere? No. So unfortunately I couldn't do that for this one. So fingers crossed it'll work out. I have got a walking foot, which I always use with slippery fabric. What else? A really sharp needle. Any other tips? Let me know. I'm going to sew this up tonight, but I have got another bias cut skirt that I want to work on. So your tips would be gratefully received for skirt number 2. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there for today. I don't have anything else to share. Apologies, as I said, I haven't had any other time to do any sewing. I'm very much a one project at a time kind of person, that even though that was dragging on, I can't start sewing another project while I've got something else on the go. I have to finish one and then do another one. So I'll be doing my bias cut skirt, And then I'm going to start sewing up my Styler Teos sweater, which I'm doing for a collaboration. And then when I've done that, I will work on my Aspen dress. So same story as last week. I've still got those 2 projects to get on with. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really do hope that you are getting on with some sewing. Whatever sewing you are getting up to, do share, let me know. I love to hear different projects that are going on. And I hope very much to see you next time. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything and it helps my little channel to grow and to get pushed out there by YouTube. Please give me a like as well if you have enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.